feeling stuck, this is the video for you. We're going to talk about boosting your business momentum. As a woman in business, as an entrepreneur, as an expert, you got stuff to do. And you being in this space where you're going back and forth with yourself, where your energy is up and down, where you feel completely stuck on which direction to go into, does not support you. It doesn't support your clients, and it definitely doesn't support your bank account. So let's talk about reigniting and boosting your momentum so you can step into this next level of your business like you desire and you deserve to. And this video is break down 5 C's to boost your business momentum so that you can step back into your most powerful self, even more powerfully, if I might add, so that you can stop having this imposter energy or these identity shifts where you're like not allowing yourself to just be who it is that you are in this season, and actually see how that's going to propel you to move forward even more powerfully than you would have moved forward before. So let's go ahead and dive in. Hey sis, I do not care if it is the middle of the year. Okay, so we're talking like June, July, August. I don't care if we're in Q4, we're in October, November, and you're looking to close the year out. I don't care if we just started the year and you have these new resolutions and goals and desires for the year. I'm unattached to when you watch this video. At first, we were going to call it mid-year momentum, but then I was like, wait, I talked to my clients about this throughout the entire year. There's so many times where you think because it's closer to the end of the year that you're not going to be able to hit whatever goal you came up with, right? Or I see a lot of my clients who actually hit their initial goal and now they're focused on the next thing that they want to call in, the next goal, the next desire that they have. And so that could be them doubling what they already did. That could be them increasing it by 25%. Some people refer to them as your good, your great, and your grand goal. So whatever that is for you, here's the thing. I see so many times women start to count themselves out as they look at time. We have to let time stop causing us to create disbelief. When we look at time from our human perspective, we see the time and we see all the things we want to do. And whenever we are like, oh my God, how can I do all these things in this amount of time? It's not possible. I have a friend who always reminds me of this. As a woman of faith, God can do supernatural things that my human brain cannot even conceptualize. He can see timelines that I don't see because he sees beyond the timeline. He can see things that can happen right in little amounts of time to me, but they're grand times to him. What happens is I see so many of us go into this space, one, where we're trying to be in control of every single thing. Instead of asking for what it is we want, what am I going to do every day to show up for that thing that I want? And then surrendering from there. Still do your part. Don't be sitting down waiting for it to come. So you still got to take action and do your part, aligned action, divine action, and do your part, right? But we let go of the faith, right? We let go that it's still possible. And when that happens, it will hurt how you show up. You won't show up as powerful. You won't have the level of conviction. You won't have that level of conviction with the thing because the belief really isn't there. The trust really isn't there. So the first C that I want to talk about is curiosity. When we have this conversation around building momentum, a lot of times what happens with my clients, with women that I talk to every single day for years and years and years, really it's this idea that I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be here and I'm here. I feel like I'm moving slow. I feel like I wasted time. I feel like other people are passing me by, all of these things. And this also happens for women who are crushing their goals and hitting their goals because they also are in a space of, is it enough? How do I go harder? How do I keep this? Scarcity thinking, all these things. I bring in this conversation of curiosity that I want you to have when it comes to us boosting your momentum in business. What curiosity does is it expands your thinking. Instead of you asking yourself, is it enough? Do I need to do more? Do I need to do less? Am I too much? Is it this? Is it that? Being curious are on 2 levels. One, having curiosity with how you have grown. So, I've become this person. Here's what I now like to do. Like really being in a space of exploring who you have become in this journey. No matter where you are, you have grown. And the reason I like to do that is because a lot of times women think that they have not done enough to get to where they want to be. But then you don't pay attention to, well, here's all the things I have done. Here's all the ways that I have grown. And so if you want to build momentum for where where it is you want to go, I need you to take time to see where you have come from. And too many times we dismiss that because we're high achievers, we're looking at other things, we're ambitious, we want the next level of all the things. And sometimes things don't happen on our timeline. They don't happen when we won, how we thought they was going to look, all the things. But you have to honor, here's where I am. Let me give myself some grace, and not even just grace. Let me actually see how I've grown. Even if I'm telling myself I haven't, let me explore how I have grown and what I have been able to do. And when you change your mindset to be in this space of curiosity, you then allow yourself to say, ooh, wait a minute. Here's who I was last month. Here's who I am now. Here's where I was last year. Here's where I'm at now. Here's where I was last week. Here's where I am now. How have I grown? What have I learned about myself? What are ways that I've expanded and I've evolved? And then you start to look at that and you're like, wait a minute, I got better with this thing. I got better with that thing. And so that starts to boost your confidence. That starts to boost your energy. And now you start to see where you have made progress. So I want to invite you, no matter where you are with your goals, no matter how much you have accomplished and think you haven't accomplished, I want you to take a moment to be in this curious space with yourself and your own growth. And speaking of curiosity, here's the second part. I want you to also be curious about where you're going. I am curious about where I've come from and how I've grown, and I'm curious about where I'm going. Now I'm curious about this vision. Ooh, what's next? Here's who I've become in this season, right? So let's insert the term self-identity, because a lot of times there's some identity stuff going through your mind around, well, who do I get to be this? Who do I think I am? Or what are they going to think about me because of who I am now? Or a lot of times I feel like when we see successful women, we talk about the fact that they're changing and they let things go. You know why they let things go? Because they're in a space where in order for them to protect the most powerful asset of their life and their business, being themselves, they may have to step out of certain circles. They may have to step away from certain conversations. They may have to shift their thinking around things, and maybe they don't connect with the people who think that old way that they used to think. And so it's not them trying to be better than anybody else. It's literally, I've said this before, words from Cardi B, I'm in competition with my own self. I have a whole video that I did on comparison. I am not in competition with you, next level coach. I'm not in competition with you, peer, friend. I'm in competition with myself. I know who I used to be and I know where I want to go. And so I am literally, forget competition, I'm in curiosity with myself and who I am becoming. I'm getting to know her. She's a new me. I'm in a new season. If you are becoming a mom for the first time, if you have kiddos, I literally was talking to one of my best friends. Her kiddos are going from baby to toddler and now they're going into school. And it's like, oh my God, I've spent 4 or 5 years with them at home and now they're going to school. And that's a new identity shift. It could be you just getting married. It could be you hitting a next level of income in your business. Maybe you're the first 6-figure earner in your family. Maybe you're the first to build a 6-figure business in your family. Maybe you're the first to be debt free. Maybe you're the first to go to college or to, even just start your business or have a side hustle or whatever it is, the first to own a home. Maybe you're the first to do something, right? And there's no blueprint. And so we start to have this shame around who we are becoming. And I even feel like we start to have grief around who we're leaving behind, and not just the people we're leaving behind, like other people. I'm talking about grieving who we used to be. But instead, if you can become curious and don't bring that guilt, don't bring that shame, don't bring that overwhelm, don't bring that doubt, don't bring that judgment into this next level of when you're seeking momentum to build your bank account and build your business, that's not going to help you. What's going to serve you is, I'm curious. I'm curious about how these shifts around who I used to be are going to support who I'm becoming. I'm curious around these new things about myself. I get to learn these new parts of myself, this new version of myself. I did a whole video on 6-figure traits of 6-figure women. And the first thing that I talked about was you becoming unwavering about what it is that you desire, what you want, how you want it, all the things, and stop having shame and belittling them and not letting them be your true desires because you're afraid to tell the world and all the things, right? Or you get the thing, right? Because some of you are building, you have this momentum, the highest place you've ever been in your business, and you may find yourself wanting to shrink and self-sabotage, right? So whatever's going on, I want you to be in a space of curiosity on, wow, here's who I used to be and here's who I've become, and how is this version of me supporting where I want to go? So be curious about where you've grown and be curious about where you're going. Be curious about that vision, right? That's the second part, being curious about where you're going. What is this vision, right? And who do I need to be for that vision? woman and who is she? And how does she do things? And how does she live her life? And how does she communicate? And how does she show up? And how does she honor her boundaries? What type of self-care does she do? Like, you see the expansive questions we start to go into, isn't that going to add to the momentum of you continuing to do the thing and going after the thing and staying in the room with the thing versus you being in this like,
I'm not sure if I've grown enough. I think there's still more for me to do.
Of course there's more for you to do, because we're going to be doing that to the day that we die. We're going to be expanding and growing and evolving all the time. Let's be curious about who we have become, where we're growing, what we're needing next, and what we're desiring next, and the vision. So now that we've talked about curiosity, we go into C number 2, which is clarity. The more curious you become, the more clear you become. The more curiosity you bring into the conversation, the more clarity you will receive. When you start to ask yourself questions like, ooh, who have I become? What have I grown through? How have I expanded and evolved? That starts to give you clarity on where else you need to go, what else you need to work on, what else you need to do. It starts to give you clarity on, well, you know what? Here's some extra receipts I get to add, right? I did a video on self-promotion. I talked about building your brag board. So you taking time to actually become aware of how you've grown and what things that you've expanded in, that allows you to add to your credibility. It also allows you to get more stories so that you can bring more storytelling into your messaging, right? To connect with your clients. There's so many things that I've experienced that allows me to be able to sit here, right? Me sitting here talking to you about curiosity is literally because I remember being in spaces where I was in full judgment of who I used to be. I used to be this person. I used to go so hard in my business. I used to hustle so hard. I used to go live every single day for like 3 years straight in my business. And yeah, I got to my first 1 or 2 6 figures, but you know what? That was not how I desired to do it moving forward. So instead of me being in judgment of that, I got to be curious. I'm curious. What was it that really helped me in this season? Ooh, I love video. I love this. I love that. Okay, so in this next season, let's do this. Let's try this. Like, it creates a more expansive conversation. But if you're not willing to be curious, you won't get clarity in what it is that you need to do next. And also, speaking of clarity, that also leads you to elements of your messaging. There are elements of your messaging that has expanded and have evolved. You know why? Because you have. So there are times where when I used to like talk only about sales, like, you know, everyone would come to like, Kira's a sales queen, like, you know, coach with her if you want to feel like powerful in your sales and you want to have sales that actually work and all that good stuff, right? And it was very like money driven. And you know what? As I was expanding and evolving, I realized, you know what? When I first started my business, I did create this because I wanted to replace my corporate income. But you know what? Now that it's like, okay, I can pay my bills, I can do, you know, this and do that. I want more. I don't just want that. It's so much more than the money. I thought I was doing this for like money, and then I thought I was doing this for time freedom too. But really it became, wow, there's this level of expression that I'm able to have. I can sit in my office on the floor and make this video, and it's going to impact women around the world, right? Like, our Money in the Message Inner Circle is international. We have women from around the world that's inside of my program. Like, I get to talk to these women. I get to love on these women. I get to coach these women. I get to support them. I get to celebrate money with them. I get to celebrate wins with them in their personal life. Like, there is this lifestyle that a high value expert woman is allowing for herself. She's allowing herself to leverage her tongue. She's allowing herself to leverage her talent. She's allowing herself to leverage these elements, right, of her expertise and her years of experience. And she gets to use that to build a powerful brand and to take not only her life to the next level, but the lives of those people that she loves. Like, that's power. And so I no longer wanted the conversation only to be about making more money. I wanted the conversation to also be, listen, you can make the money, but you can feel like life is sucking, right? Which is not good. So I want you to have the balance of whatever feels right for you. But it was really important for me because of the curiosity with myself, because of me seeing how I was expanding and evolving. There's a point where I don't need to worry just about making more money. I already make money. Okay, now what? Okay, I've had 10, 20, 30, 40K month. Okay, now what? I've done the 6 figures in a year, and I've done the 6 figures in 6 months, and I've done this and I've done that. You know, I've had $50,000 a month. And what? And so I feel like online, we're all into the money conversation. And let me be very clear, honey. I'm all about you getting your money. But I'm telling you, when you are at a level in your business, and I find that happens too with a lot of clients with momentum. That's why I wanted to make sure when I'm talking about momentum in this video, I'm not just speaking to you if you're not hitting your goal. I actually want to talk about the women who hit their goal. goal, when you get to that place where you completely self-sabotage, hitting your highest level that you've ever hit, that's why clients will have their biggest week and they'll drop. They'll have their biggest month and they'll drop. You'll have your biggest year and you'll drop because you hit your upper limit. You didn't allow yourself to realize, wait a minute, I get to surpass all these places because that's not the only goal. The money number was never the only goal. The goal is like, I want freedom in my time. I want freedom in my expression. I want freedom in who I get to work with. I want to be very intentional and say, no, you are not a fit for my program. I want to be very intentional and say, yes, I would love to work with you inside of my program. I want to be very intentional with how I'm spending my time, who I'm spending my time with, how I'm spending my day. I want to be like, okay, listen, today is a filming day. I'm not coming into the office until noon because I know I'm going to be filming today for 3 or 4 hours or whatever timing that looks like. So I'm going to have a slow morning, afternoon, or whatever it is. I want to have a Friday off. I want every Friday on my calendar to not include any client calls. I don't want it to be anything but fun stuff. Like whatever that looks like for you, but there is this level of permission that you're going to have to give yourself for this next level of what you want as we have this conversation around building momentum. And so the more curious that you can get, it allows you to become more self-aware. It allows you to become more open and expansive. And then you pair that with being able to get into a space of clarity. Okay, here's where I'm focused and what I'm doing. All of these things can be incorporated in your business model. You are going to find, you know what? I like to offer this type of offer. I no longer like to offer this. I have clients who are moms and they're like, listen, I used to love Voxer packages. I no longer love Voxer with you having access to me anytime you want to message me. So I need to have a container like this. I have clients who are going through different health things and they realize, you know what? I only have this capacity. So I need to adjust my business model like this. Or you know what? I'm in retirement stage of my life, or I've just become a grandmother. I want to spend more time with my grandbaby, or I just became a mom. Like there are so many life transitions that happens, right? And so being able to make sure you have a business model that's aligned with that is really important. So one thing I want to talk about with clarity is the cleanup. Okay. So there are 4 areas that I always advise my clients when you're going through you're getting curious, you're getting clarity, right? And now you're ready for the cleanup. If you want me to do a whole video on the cleanup part, let me know. And the cleanup basically is when you're in a space of pivoting in your business, you're realigning in your business, you're stepping into this new level of your business. What are the top 4 areas that you should really be cleaning up, refreshing, refining in your business model? Now, one of them is going to be your messaging, and I can talk more about the others, but messaging, we talked about there's certain things you've been through. There's certain parts of your story that have expanded. There's a new version of you. Therefore, there's new stories that you have. And so you want to make sure you are incorporating that, infusing that into your messaging. So there are some areas as you get more clarity, you then want to use that and go clean up avenues and areas and aspects and elements of your business. And so I can do a whole video on that. If you want me to do a whole video, just comment clean up in the comments and I'll share with you, hey, when my clients, and there's different things. When my clients have a lifestyle change, when my clients hit a new revenue goal, right? What you did at your first $50,000 is going to be different than what you do at your first $250,000. It's going to be different than what you do at your first $500,000. So if you want me to talk about like what are those areas that my clients tend to clean up and keep optimizing and refining in their business as they continue to grow and scale, then let me know inside the comments. But in short, we've gone through be curious on how you have grown and where you're going, that vision that allows you to get clarity. So okay, here's a direction I want to go into. And there's some areas you're going to want to clean up, right? To support you. Because what you don't want to do is bring a whole lot of trash with you. You can't be growing and trying to carry the bag of trash. See, some of y'all, that's where your momentum is being hurt. You're trying to go to this next level. And I shouldn't even say trying because you're doing it. But you know what? You are holding yourself back because you got this big bag that keep getting bigger because you keep holding on to all these different things. And oh my goodness, you realize, oh my God, I'm burnt out. I don't have momentum because you're exhausted. And some of you, your momentum, your lack of momentum, your lack of all the things, your energy, creativity, all that, it's actually because you're talking to the wrong audience, which I can talk about in that cleanup video if you want me to. Some of y'all, we need to kind of take out some of this mind trash, but then there's some other elements that I don't want to call them trash, but other elements that do not serve you anymore that you're holding on to. And as you propel into this next level, you're having a hard time carrying all of them because the bag keeps getting bigger, the bricks keep getting added, the trash keeps getting bigger, the bag is about to burst and expand. Oh my gosh. And so then you wonder why you're burnt out or why you're not having the momentum or the energy. And my love, it's time for you to do a cleanup. It's time for you to do a decluttering. So if you want me to do that cleanup, decluttering video, let me know, sis. And now that we've talked about curiosity and you get more clarity and all that allows you to do that cleanup, now you got to have conviction. I want to remind you of something just in case somebody forgot to tell you lately, okay? Sis, you are the most important asset in your business. You have to be protected at all costs. And so your mindset is the key. Your mindset, your energy, right? Your thoughts, they turn into your actions or lack thereof. When we talk about conviction being the first C in boosting momentum, I have to start there, because a lot of times when you start to count yourself out, when you start to doubt, right? Doubt creates distractions. Distractions don't come from anything of good or of God. Distractions don't come from a place of serving you. They really, truly don't. They only come from another place that's not of good. So you can guess what that is. So whenever there's something being placed in your path to cause a distraction, like insert this doubt.
Have I been doing this long enough? Am I doing this enough? Should I do this like that? Is this really possible? I only have this much time. I don't think that can happen.
You start to step out of faith, right? And you're in all control of when it has to happen, how it's supposed to look, all the things. I really want you to be in a space of conviction when it comes to really your faith around what it is that you are desiring, what you are wanting, and go beyond the measurements of time and even go beyond the measurement of money. Go deeper into what is the thing that I'm wanting and why am I wanting it? What am I feeling about that thing? What does that thing look like? What does that thing feel like? It is time for you to have conviction with this next level, right? That curiosity of where you're going. It's time for you to have conviction for that next level of your vision, of what it is that you want. And so what I want to say about this when it comes to momentum specifically, whether you're in the middle of the year, whether you're in Q4, whether you're in the beginning of the year, I want you to be in this space where you are realizing exactly where I am is where I need to be. How much time and energy do you spend not being present with where you are? So focused on where you want to go and where you used to be and what you need to do and all the things that you're not actually getting what it is you're meant to receive in the season you're in. You're not getting the downloads. You're not getting the lessons. You're not hearing what's being told. God is like, listen, I'm trying to present this to you, my child, and you keep ignoring me. You keep doing this, and this. And I'm going to cycle you back here until you pay attention to the lesson I have for you in this season. Did y'all hear what I just said? Because Kiara been there. I can remember, y'all. So when I had my very first $20,000 month, I had my first $20,000 month in 2017. So I had only been in business, I think a year. Yeah, not even a year at that point. And I had my first $20,000 month. And this was my first cash. Okay, let me be clear. My first cash $20,000 month. And so I can remember that happening. And then I remember my next $20,000 month. And the time between those two, I said, God,
why are you giving me a couple months until I hit this again? Like, what is going on?
I couldn't tell myself this then, right? But that's why having a coach is very important, because they'll give you a different perspective. But you know what I realized? I realized so much about myself in that period. I realized when I made that first $20,000, y'all, in that first month, my first time, y'all, I was trying to throw that money away. I was investing in stuff. I was like, take my money here and there. And I even made misaligned investments. And that's another level of curiosity, right? Understanding, well, why did I do that? I realized where I was investing in some coaches from a disempowered space of like, I want to be them because I'm not enough, right? Mind you, let me just be clear that I say this. I hit my very first $20,000 and I did not have an active coach at that time. It was me following me. It was me trusting me. It was me literally just doing the thing. It was just me showing up and the things that I teach, showing up in my power message and sales content, right? Having a powerful sales messaging that calls people in, and that's it. It truly was it, right? And when you bring qualified, pre-qualified, right, high-level qualified clients on calls with you, you literally increase your conversion rate. So literally I had like a 100% conversion rate, like 1 or 2 weeks during that period, right, where I signed every client that I talked to on the phone, because I understood. And like when I tell people this is tried and true, I mean it. This passes time. This passes platforms. This is something you always need. And so my point of saying that though is like, I can remember having that. And y'all, I went and invested in two 5-figure programs right after that because I wanted to throw the money away. I was like,
no, my way must not be right. It must be this. It must be that.
Now, one thing, that's why I'm really grateful for those experiences now though. You see why? Because I took the time to get curious. When I bring women into my program, so when you come on into Money in the Message, what I am not going to do that I learned during those experiences, I am never going to bring in a woman and come from this space of,
I want to disempower you with your message.
No, there's already been a message planted inside of you. The seed has already been there. I know my role. My role is not to be your savior. My role is not to be the person to tell you this is who you are and what you do. I have a process that I take us through to help you expand deeper into those elements that are already there. And then I just help you finesse the language to help you better explain that. You are already amazing and incredible and have past and present clients, and you have amazing experience and expertise, and you do your thing. I don't do your thing. Even though my clients tell me, Kira, after you do my messaging map and you do this and you do that, you make me want to buy my own stuff. Like, you do the thing and you don't even do the thing, Kira. But shoot, it sounds like it. And I'm like, no, I just understand what to ask you. I understand the supplemental pieces of our trainings. I have the method that has worked with women across multiple industries, right? Different years of experience, different income levels in their business. And the reason that is because what I understand my gift to be is to help extract that from you. And I literally see it like, oh, this goes here and that goes there and that goes there. Oh, you had the elements, but they were all over the place. They were unorganized. And when we did it like this, when we structure it like this in your sales content, you got your pre-qualified clients who come in like, okay, I just had one question. I already have my payment. Can we make the payment on the phone, or are you going to send me a link when we're done? Like whatever, right? I'm saying that to say me becoming curious and being willing to do the work to look at those uncomfortable moments for myself, then going into a space of clarity. What does this mean? And then going into a space of having that cleanup and having that conviction. So those lessons taught me conviction. There's so many lessons of conviction that I've learned, but that in particular was like, ooh, I didn't learn this lesson during that $20,000 month. And then I went, invested in this and got rid of the money. And then there was some money mindset stuff too. Now that was an eye opener for me. I didn't realize how much I was like, wait, I'm asking for 20K months consistently and I'm not being comfortable. Am I comfortable with having consistent 5-figure months where I know $10,000 is my minimum, where I know $14,000 is my minimum, where I'm making $25,000 cash? Like, am I allowing that to truly be my minimum? And really, I want to bring this into the conversation. Am I normalizing that for myself? Am I normalizing the next level for myself? So it wasn't until I did that work, I'm like, oh, now I have consecutive 5-figure months happening. And so I remember that period of like, oh,
I didn't get the lesson.
so you will continue to be brought back to the lessons if you do not do the work for the lessons, right? That's really, really important in that cleanup period, in that curiosity period, in that clarity period. Then I want to introduce you to this. The next C number 4, is creativity. And the reason I'm combining creativity with conviction is because conviction is something that you're going to grow and you're going to expand. You're going to have to continue to experience things for that conviction, that awareness to grow. The more aware you become of yourself, the more clarity and curiosity you get to have, or more curious you get to be, and then clarity you get to have. But really, you staying in your creative zone is going to help you continue to expand. If you only let yourself be in your office and only do the things that you're focused on, head down, tied and chained to your desk and your computer, it's not going to help you. I know it. I know it. So it wasn't until for me, I started to be in a space. You know what? Even if I think about it, I can correlate whenever I was like, oh my goodness, transitioned into 5-figure consistent consecutive months, right? And consecutive is like every month. That also is tied to me expanding my creativity. And that can mean whatever it means for you. It can be something as lavish as travel and all that good stuff and certain things you want to buy yourself, but it can be the simple things too. The simple things like, I'm going to take off for an hour and go out of my house and have lunch. I'm going to get away from my desk. I'm going to block my calendar on Fridays. I don't know what year I started this, but I'm going to block my calendar on Fridays so that I can have Flex Fridays. And I don't want any client calls on Fridays. Like this Friday, I'm taking Jackson Jr. to grooming. And then I have a podcast interview that I am doing at 3. Their podcast interviews are fun for me. It makes me feel like I'm my Oprah, my Oprah energy. And then last Friday, I worked outside on the patio. I was like talking to 2 of my biz besties, and we were just like talking about something that is extremely fun for me. Like it's things that are like extremely, extremely fun. My client calls are fun, but there's a space mentally that you have to hold for your clients and supporting them. So for me, it's more of my creative space that I like to be in on Fridays. I worked outside, and then the Friday before that, I went to the doctor, and then I just went to a coffee shop when I left the doctor. And the Friday before that, I don't remember. So literally just being able to have that flexibility. So maybe you can't do a whole Friday, or maybe you can, sis, if you switch some things around. But the point is, find that for yourself. It could be how you want to spend your mornings. Today, I didn't get into the office until about noon. I knew that I had to film today. So you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to have a slower morning, and I gave myself that permission. So when I say creativity, I just mean find other ways for you to experience your time. Your time doesn't have to be you chained to your desk 24/7. It could be you on a walk. It could be you taking a long hot shower. It could be you having a slow morning. It could be you going intentionally somewhere else to have lunch. I love going to get like some sushi in the middle of the day. And sometimes I'll bring my journal. Sometimes I'll bring a book. Sometimes I might bring my laptop. But that really is like, it's a different environment for me. And so it doesn't feel like work. And we have to be careful. When we love what we do have to be careful that we don't overwork ourselves. And so the reason I talk about creativity is creativity can be work related, but creativity creativity is also go garden. I'll insert a clip. I did the corniest 30s and 40s-year-old thing. Me and some gals got together at my friend's house and we put together bouquets and had wine, and it was the best time. And I'm not saying it's corny. It was fun for me. But I don't know what 20-year-old me would have said this is what I'm going to do, but it was the best time. I love it. I love it. Give it to me. Just having moments where you're touching greenery. I don't have a huge green thumb. Y'all know Mike is a green thumb in this house, but me doing a little something, or helping him with something, or again, just going on a walk or whatever that's going to look like for you. It could be a game if you're a gamer, whatever that's going to look like for you, let it be that. But have time where you step out of business mode and you just go into create mode. It could be you cooking. That's one of my favorites, right? I've talked about that inside my program. There was one day where I was really overstimulated and I was I need to step away. Speaking of momentum, I literally we had some successful week and I still was do I need to be doing something else? Is there more I need to do? And literally when I tell y'all, I said going away to my team, and I went and made some shrimp pasta from scratch. I made a homemade Alfredo sauce, and I think I made some homemade garlic bread too with it. Anyway, the point is, have fun with food, with touching things, feeling things, go on an adventure, go to the museum, go to the movies in the middle of the day. That's one of my favorites. Go to the movies in the middle of the day. I get so excited, especially midday Fridays. I'll go to the movie. Just do whatever it is that's going to allow you to step away from the desk. And I promise you, when you come back, you're going to have more energy. That will give you more momentum. But the other thing is, that's what helps you lock in conviction, because you have to give yourself those pleasures whether or not you hit the goal. You have to give yourself those pleasures whether or not on paper it looks right or wrong. Because what happens is,
I only give this to myself when I hit the goal.
And then if you don't, you punish yourself. And then if you do, how many times do y'all actually go do it? Because I can't tell y'all how many clients I have to remind them for their win. I had a client who signed 2 clients in her first week, the first month that she was inside of our program. And I was did you go celebrate? How are you celebrating? And so making sure that you celebrate yourself and that it can be a non-business thing, a fun thing, get creative, all the things. I can talk about that all day because I just feel again, there's this lifestyle component to the fact that we're high value women and we're so high achieving that we go to the next thing and we don't give ourselves time to breathe. And so when we talk about momentum, if you want to create more stability in your energy throughout the year, right? Life is going to life, things are going to happen. But if you want to have more stability in your energy throughout the year and more consistency, right, you are going to have to find ways to protect your energy throughout the year, not just when you need this momentum boost. So what I'm saying to you is find ways throughout the week, throughout the month, even throughout the day if you need to. Create little pockets. It could be 5 minutes of you stepping away from your computer every whatever time of the day you need to. It could be you making sure that you have lunch on your calendar that no clients can book a call. It could be you making sure I have this shutdown hour, an hour before I'm about to go into home, partner, fur mommy mode, all that type of stuff. So create different opportunities where you literally get to give your mind a chance to recharge and rest and just get re-energized or whatever it is. And that is going to help you maintain momentum, not just boost momentum temporarily, but maintain momentum throughout the year. Speaking of consistency, I want to tell you this. The person that wins is the person that doesn't quit. It is not only about you starting off strong, okay? Because sometimes we start off the year strong, we start off the month strong, we start off the week strong on a Monday or whatever it is. It's actually about you being able to maintain that energy, maintain that momentum over time. That's why when people are launching, right? When you are launching as a woman, you probably are excited in the beginning, and then you got that mid-launch energy that starts to creep in. That's are they going to buy? Are they going to do this? Am I going to hit the goal? And then you stop showing up for the launch. But it's no, the most powerful thing that you need to do is keep showing up for the launch. Doesn't ever fail. I always have people who join on the last day or the second to last day of my stuff. I always have that. So do not forget you still need to show up. So if we take this concept bigger than just a launch and we just take it for momentum that we need throughout the year in our businesses, all that type of stuff. Consistency. How can I create consistency throughout the year? Because it's not just about me starting strong. It's about me maintaining so that I can end strong as well. And so when it comes to consistency, because you have that next level of clarity now, then what happens is that can direct what you're going to be consistently focusing on. So that's why, again, I talk about those 4 areas that I want you to clean up once you go through these C's. So let me know if you want me to do that cleanup video. Consistency to me is people think consistency is I got to do all these things all the time. And it's actually no, I can simplify this. Here are the core things that I need to be doing in my business every day. Here's the core things I need to be doing in my business every week that help me make progress and make money and impact people and grow my my audience and do this and that. When you do that cleanup, you start to identify, here's really where I need to be honing in. Here's where I really need to be focusing. And now I can be consistent to those things. You know, I can even think about 2 years ago, where a year and a half, 2 years ago, the CEO that I was, as much as people look at me and they're like, oh, you have this and you have that, there have been moments in my business where I have not been the most consistent with particular things. It has been me having to stretch myself and grow and realize, Kiera, you don't have to be on all of the platforms. You don't have to be in all the places. You don't have to do all the things. What you need to do is focus on honing in on the most powerful things for you and your brand. What are your high impact activities? People call them money generating activities, sales focused activities, client getting activities, whatever you want to call them. What are the things that create the most impact on your income and create the most impact for your clients and for your business? If something is not generating this level of value, of impact, of income, and it gives you only this much, what are you worrying about these things for? So some of that momentum that you're trying to boost is you boosting it for stuff that's not actually generating revenue. It's not generating results. It's not generating joy and fulfillment. And the other thing too is like sometimes there are things that we're doing in our business that aren't like tied exactly to making money, but it does give us that charge, which was why I talked about creativity. So there are things that I will do in my business that truly feed me. There have been times when I have spoken for free at different events for women because there are women that are like building their business and they're brand new and they're looking for panelists or like speakers or something like that. And you know what? I'm happy to contribute in that way for 30 minutes or whatever it is to like speak life into those women and like amp them up and tell them my story because I remember being where they are. That could be an example of you doing some things where maybe it's not necessarily bringing you revenue now, but you know what? I've also done those things. And then I've gotten clients in those moments. I've gotten other paid speaking gigs in those moments. I've gotten other training and teaching gigs in those moments. So there are times where you can do something because it sparks that creativity. When I go out and I get to meet other women and learn about them and their businesses, that feeds me too. You do have to create a balance, but if 80, I would say follow the 80-20% rule. If a lot of the time that you are doing things, it's things that is not bringing you money, is not bringing you clients and all that type of stuff, then why are you doing it? And now you're like looking for momentum and you're looking for energy to keep doing those things. But the reason why you're really burnt out is because those things that you're spending all your time and your energy and your focus on aren't really working. They're not producing results. So now you have to have the energy to do those things for free for a lower price because you're not fixing your messaging. You're not calling in your high level, high value clients who want to work with you. You're speaking to people who will never buy from you. You're doing all these things, right? You're wasting your time in all these things. You're wasting your energy in all these things. And then you're looking for momentum to do the energy thing, to get the energy for the things that make you money and do the thing, but you don't have the energy to show up for those because you show up for the other things. And y'all, this is not only business, this is also family, this is also friends. Go ahead and ask that partner to go ahead and help you cook during the week. Go ahead and hire the chef or find a private food service. Go ahead and hire the cleaner if that's going to help you. Go ahead and ask those kiddos to help clean a little bit more. Ask for what you need in your home. Ask for what you need in your day-to-day life. Ask for what you need in other areas. Say no to things that truly don't add to you and add to your home or don't require you to do them. Because there's stuff in our home where it needs to be done, but it doesn't have to be us doing it. But we got our pride and we got our ego and we got our superwoman cape on and we're trying to do all the things. So this conversation is not just about business. True consistency is you not only being able to start strong, but it's you being able to keep that momentum and finish strong. And so what I don't want you to do is burn yourself out because you're like seeking momentum to boost momentum in all these areas where it's like, wait a minute, what are the areas where I really need to focus? Results and revenue flow where your faith, your energy, and your focus goes. Where does your energy need to be focused? Where does your faith need to be focused? Where do you need to be focusing in your business, in your life? And cut out the other stuff. Delegate it, delete it, prioritize it for another time. But it's not needed now, sis. And trust that. Last C that I'm going to talk about today is coaching and community. Y'all, it took me coaching and community spaces to understand these things that I'm talking about. It sometimes takes you having a conversation with a therapist. It sometimes takes you having a conversation with your coach. It sometimes takes you having a conversation with community, your friends, or all three. Cause I'm an all threer, okay? When they be aligned with what they be saying, I be like, okay, God, all right, God, you using other people to say the thing that I didn't even know. The other day, I had a client who talked about something and she was like, you had no idea I was praying about that. that. I hear that all the time. You had no idea, Kira, I have been praying about that. Or Kira, you had no idea XYZ happened before. And I'm like, oh, I sure didn't. I just was using that as an example. It just popped in my head. And so being in a space where you literally have another set of eyes to support you and seeing those blind spots and seeing those other areas where, listen, you're looking to build your momentum in this, but you got this and you got this. And I think that you could focus more on this because this brings this result versus this one, which brings this result, but you really want this result. Why are you not focusing on this? If this program makes you the most money, why are you not focusing on that? What do we need to shift about the program itself? What do we need to clean up here to help you go all in on this, to help you build your confidence, your conviction, build your credibility, build your messaging, build your this, to focus on that. Coaching is going to help you do that. And I know that you're a woman who loves to be coached. I know you're a woman who loves not to just do the things by yourself. You may have in the past because that's who you thought you needed to be, like me, right? But we're letting that go. We're realizing how powerful support is. We're realizing how much it amps us up. We are realizing that that is the way that I build momentum. Me making sure I am always in a space of being supported and I'm always in a community. I like community support. I personally don't just want to talk to just the coach. I love having community support, but I also know from 5th grade was Miss Matthews. I always love when other people ask questions because they think of stuff that I don't think of. So I like a hybrid situation, which is why Money in the Message is also built that way, because I have found that my clients are most successful when they have some one-on-one support, personalized support always, but then they also have that group element. So make sure that you have a community and coaching and a space that's going to also support you in staying in the room with what it is that you're wanting to build momentum around. That is a non-negotiable. I did a video where I talked about 6-figure women and I talked about the fact that you need to not do it alone. 6-figure women don't do it alone, whether it's in their home, whether it's in their business, from coaching, all the things. They do not do it alone because they understand my energy is best spent somewhere else. The amount of energy it takes me to sit and do my messaging by myself, to only look at my sales content by myself, to do this and do that by myself, versus if I go over here, I get support on it. Now my energy can go into the next thing. I don't have to put all my energy in that. And now I've hit my capacity. I've hit my bandwidth. I don't have any more left to give to business, to clients, to making money, especially if I'm doing stuff that didn't even generate money. Now I got to go actually do stuff to make money. Like, what other energy? Where am I supposed to pour from? My cup is empty. So make sure that you're in spaces that support you in identifying, I see you putting your time and energy over here, but it's not yielding these results. But if you put your time and energy over here, it yields those results. And here's where you are getting results. How do we optimize that? How do we refine it? How do we make it better? How do we 2 to 5x that in the next 4 months, let's say, right? I am so excited that we got to talk about these 5 C's. I cannot wait to hear in the comments which C resonated with you most. What are you building momentum around? What is going on right now that you're wanting to build your momentum and your energy around? And also, if you are ready to position your expertise to sell more powerfully, more profitably, and more purposefully, I would love to invite you for you and I to spend some one-on-one time together. This is a time inside of your own mini sales messaging strategy session where you and I will be completely 100% focused on you and your business and your brand. And I'm going to go through and audit some things with you and show you exactly what you can tweak to start taking your messaging from just words on the paper, right, to being money in your pocket, right? Turning your content into clients, transforming your money-making messaging, right, into sales. If you want to have some one-on-one private time with me, hit the link inside the description to go ahead and grab your very own mini sales messaging strategy session. I do not offer a ton of these, so make sure that you grab one when you get to that link so that you and I can have our one-on-one time and we can dive into all of this for you and your business and create true personalized messaging that will help you sell more powerfully now, not later. So go ahead and grab that in the comments and in the description below. And until next time, love, shine, and success. Make sure you share this video with a biz bestie, a mastermind sister, another woman who you know would really resonate with this message and would receive it with so much love. And I'll see y'all in the next video.